I believe it was like $75.
All right, that's pretty
plus
good.
tips, in an empty place.
Would
Doesn't
you
mean
get
much, but
would you get
food,
fed?
yeah, they did feed you, give you a couple beers. I'm like, this math doesn't add up. I'm not going to ask any questions because it felt like free money, and it was, there were random times you'd have a decent enough crowd, but I don't know. I think I'm sure I have no reason to sugarcoat it because they're never going to exist again. But yeah,
Right,
it was always
the owner
dark
of the place,
and smelly in there too.
I understand he passed away in prison.
Yeah, and he had very recently gotten out of a 20-year stretch for murder.
Oh wow!
Is the way this is all people telling me stuff. I haven't looked at it.
I don't know, man.
You have not confirmed
Yeah.
the rumors.
Right.
Well, they're probably all true.
Yeah, I'm gonna rumble.
But yeah, it's an empty building. That for a while there was when I first started over at Don's. There was some lady that was like living in the bushes or something, and she would like just move stuff from one place to another all day, and we just kind of watched. She'd be like, "Oh, she's moving her pile to another place."
It looks exactly the same today as it did when it was open and operating.
Well, I went in it, and this is what I was really trying hard not to say to the reporter was it looked like a human toilet.
Oh yeah, you went in it.
Yeah.
When? As part of that? Or
there was a guy that was doing some construction or some demolition, and he was offering me some stainless steel appliances that were in there. Probably legit. But he gave me a tour of the place. He's like, you want to see what there's like a pizza oven that's brand new in here. And so I was like, yeah, I'll take a look. But he was like, watch your step there. It's real soft. Watch your step over there. It's pretty much rotting right through, And the place just stunk.
Yeah.
And swastikas everywhere.
That doesn't help.
And I knew that they would have used on the news. It'd be like, I went in there and it was just nothing but swastikas and adult diapers. Like that would have been the only quote. They would have been like, we got it.
Yeah.
Cut. All right.
That would have gone viral.
All right.
What else you got for today?
Well, let's talk some Trump tweets. What do you guys think about that? He's talking about Elijah Cummings on this hot issue about children on the border. We should play this video that I have.
What do I think about Elijah Cummings?
Yeah, what do you think about Elijah Cummings?
Okay, why is he the okay? Aren't we worried about the racist things that Trump has tweeted to Elijah Cummings and the fact that Trump keeps calling Elijah Cummings racist? This civil rights hero that had been beaten and bloodied marching into Selma, and he's being called a racist? How can Elijah Cummings be a racist?
Anybody can be a racist.
I understand.
I will say this about the tweets. It's exactly what we said about this beer earlier.
We
know exactly what you were getting into. Everybody that voted for him did. Everybody that has been. But this is so being surprised or trying to get this finger wagging moment at Trump. I'm fatigued, man, because he does he responds positively to that. So all it's doing is like.
And before he dives in, this is a point that I brought up last week, and I'm going to bring it up again because it's true for this case, and then also that other case of the false racism at that grocery store, right, in Georgia. The Democrats have to be careful of drawing this "you can't be racist and be a Democrat" line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They can't be doing that.
They can't be doing that because there are racist Democrats, and we need their vote.
Yeah,
I mean, it is the most effed up thing for me to say. And there are Democrats that don't understand transgender people, and we can't say you can't be in the Democratic Party because you don't understand gay or lesbians or transgender or any of this
any
subset or the conversation about it. If you don't want to be part of the conversation, that's fine. Just keep voting Democrat no matter what. Don't pay attention to any of the issues. Trust me, they're moving in the right way. This progress needs to happen as a society, and eventually the children will grow up right. And then we can breed out this blind racism without apology.
Just racists just be out there without any apology? Or
I'm saying, man, you can be racist and it can blurt out every once in a while, and you can apologize for it. But just the out in the open racism has got to stop.
All right. So
I mean,
you just want casual racism,
Go
not
back to
intentional racism.
be racist in the locker room.
Okay.
I remember when he was elected,
And not
we
on
all,
Twitter.
like, those of us that are a little, at least left of center, were saying, well, he's going to draw all these real racists out of the woodwork, and then they'll be exposed, and they won't be able to, But no, that's not what's happened. Is that they've been emboldened, and they're continuously emboldened, and there's not a lot of shame that you can expect from somebody that has had an ideology. Most of them their entire lives. They were raised into this, and by people who like the same kind of, people who very much indoctrinated them to be and think the way they are.
Did your parents vote for Trump?
I don't know. They won't respond.
What do you think?
They both promised and said before the election that they could never bring themselves to vote for Hillary, but they were going to leave it blank.
Okay.
I don't know if I have the heart to even.
What do you
ask them
think?
to cop to,
What do you think they'll do in 2020?
Unfortunately, I think he'll win in a landslide.
Unfortunately.
Because as it stands right now, with a really kind of a serious vacuum of leadership in the Democrats, I don't see any. But again, it's actually early in the election cycle. It's very early.
Yeah.
And I'm not an expert, so I'm not really peering down the barrel of
the primaries don't happen until February.
Yeah, and
March.
The candidate doesn't really usually get a foothold until maybe a month before the
South Carolina, Georgia primaries.
Even
right?
that, yeah, like they're still talking about it leading up to the convention. We weren't sure. Even on their side, that Trump was going to get the nomination last time. Remember the Republican convention? We're all saying, okay, he can't. He's gone far enough. And we were so like, oh, thank God this is over. And we keep saying that. And we keep trying to wish him away. But man.
And then the same people that are supposed to bring us the stories, like the news stories, unfortunately are infatuated with them too.
Yeah.
And they just give them a voice.
Exactly.
And so even though 90% of us are listening to it going, man, this guy is freaking off his rails,
Yeah.
There's 10% that are like, I kind of like the way this man just says what he thinks.
Yeah.
And that is how he won the election.
They
are all,
one of these days,
if they're in Maine.
One of these days I'll call you out for racism.
I really
time you do
like
that.
Oh, white racism?
Yeah, when you
I'm
start,
half
when
white,
you start,
bro.
When you start
I
going,
can't be racist against whites.
Yeah, you can.
I'm
Totally
half
can.
white. My dad's from Delta, Pennsylvania.
Totally just like they always have some sort of little Republican twang to their voice.
Well, they're not.
I'll tell you
well,
what.
Certainly stereotyping, but I wouldn't call it racism. No.
Yeah.
I know. That's fine. I'll tell
All right.
you
So
what, boy.
what is it?
I'm king of the
What is
hill.
it that's pissed you off about Elijah Cummings?
I'm not pissed off. Why can't I just report stuff?
Okay,
without being
report
pissed
it.
Off?
Report
See,
it.
That's you being all
Report it
crazy.
without bias.
Okay, check it out. CNN just wanted to play what happened recently with Elijah Cummings on this hot issue of children at the border and how fired up he got. Ow!
Hello, steak.
That's not him. He was fired up over that steak.
He loves that
I'll
steak.
tell you what.
Get in line, Elijah.
What happened?
Should have had that video ready there.
You're the worst producer.
Oh, you got a cold? You got another cold, don't you?
About
All right.
stories coming out from you and your agency that everything is pretty good and you're doing a great job. I guess you feel like you're doing a great job, right? Is that what you're saying?
We're doing our level best in a very
What does that mean? What does that mean when a child is sitting in their own feces, can't take a shower? Come on, man. What's that about? None of us would have our children in that position. They are human beings. And I'm trying to figure out, and I get tired of folks saying, oh, they just beating up on the Border Patrol. Oh, they just beating up on Homeland Security. Now, what I'm saying is I want to concentrate on these children. And I want to make sure that they are okay. I will say it, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's not the deed that you do to a child, it's the memory. It's the memory.
Fired up. That's right,
And
my man.
so, I told the head of Border Patrol the other day, I said, I want to know what's happening in the meantime. We are the United States of America. We are the greatest country in the world. We are the ones that can go anywhere in the world and save people. Make sure that they have diapers.
If there's
Make sure
money
they have
in doing it.
toothbrushes. Make sure that they're not laying around defecating in some silver paper. Come on, we're better than that.
I would welcome the opportunity to travel with you to the border and to see our men and women and how hard they are working to care for children. Border Patrol agents holding children that were not their own, brought across by smugglers, putting formula and baby bottles together. There's no one defecating in a Mylar blanket. We are taking care of these children thanks to the resources we finally have. They're moving very quickly through our facilities to Health and Human Services to a better situation. And I'd be happy to show you that at the border, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, well, there you go.
All right.
Nothing
So,
bad.
well then,
He's fired
yeah,
up,
I
right?
guess everything's solved. Everything's fine.
No, I don't know if everything's fine.
Yeah, well, they're
because
taking care of
Donald
the
Trump
kids.
has to
He's-
be saying something.
He's
and he
obviously lost his mind. Elijah Cummings is insane because they seem to have everything under control. So no problem. What does Trump have to say about it?
You know that he doesn't believe that. Why don't you read his?
How does he word it though, Carlos? This is the.
Yeah.
I want you to
How
go
does the
ahead.
president
What-
of the
I've
United
always said
States
the guy doesn't fucking
Read
say
his
things
tweet,
right.
Carlos.
Read it in his voice for us here.
Why is so much money sent to Elijah Cummings' district when it's considered the worst run and most dangerous anywhere in the United States? No human being would want to live there. Where is all this money going? How much is stolen? Investigate this corrupt mess immediately.
Okay, thank you,
So he
Donald.
accused him of theft.
Yeah.
He accused him of very falsely of how bad is the worst in the country. It's actually second.
Is this the one with the rats? Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
As proven last week during a congressional tour, the border is clean, efficient, and well run. Did we all see the same footage with Mike Pence standing there awkwardly with a room full of standing room only brown people behind a fence? And he was just terrified that there was freaking cameras seeing him looking at this.
No, pull that up. I
Yeah.
do want to see that.
That was terrifying for Mike Pence. His God had abandoned him
Why don't
there
you
at
ever?
the border.
Why don't you ever send us links?
The border
to
is
things?
clean, efficient, and well run. Just very crowded. It's just crowded. Fucking asshole. Cumming District is a disgusting rat and rodent infested mess. If he spent more time in Baltimore, maybe he could help clean up this very dangerous and filthy place.
Frankly, yeah.
Listen, I've been to Baltimore. It is pretty dirty in some
has,
areas,
yeah.
but every city has its dirt.
Yeah.
I just drove on the way here, right on the corner of William Cannon and South First. There's just like some sort of manhole grate drain system where it's cool to do all the drugs. Because there was just three dudes basically passed out. One was on top of the other, had fallen backwards, and his head was now using the other guy's belly as his pillow.
Where was this
Yeah.
at again?
This is right on the corner of William Cannon and South First.
Oh, on the outside fence of those apartments?
Yes,
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
They're out there drinking all day. They're
yeah.
doing all.
live
I mean,
very close to
Remember
them.
as a
Yeah,
kid,
yeah.
as a kid, how worried I saw that, and the first thought was like, man, remember how freaking scared we were of getting busted by the cops doing drugs?
Yeah.
All we had to do was like mess up your face, muss up your hair, and wear like tattered clothes and just look homeless, and you could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can do
You could
whatever.
be homeless and nobody will bother you.
You can live in the woods.
Yeah. And then there's
So
that's
Elijah
right
Cummings-
next to an apartment. By the way.
Elijah Cummings is a racist. You're right.
We're not getting there yet.
Oh, what do you say?
Okay, take it easy. You know,
Take
for like
it
2
easy.
minutes, huh? Well, who is Elijah Cummings? He's a representative
From Baltimore.
since 1996, which means he's had 13 terms. He's the ranking chair on the Committee on Oversight and Reform. This is probably why Trump is going off like this, too, because of the whole investigation.
Yeah. He is terrified.
He's not terrified. What would he be terrified of?
Of all the prosecutions that are going to be laid down on him once he is not president. The Southern District is probably going to incriminate him in something. And basically, all the investigations have stopped since Barr's been there. And it's gone unchallenged because there's nothing that can happen because the Senate will veto everything.
And you can also take any conviction of any kind to the Supreme Court based on constitutionality. And he's going to have that so stacked by the time he's done. I think that's why they're desperately trying to get him while he's in office. Because when he's out of office, he can just delay whatever. People, his supporters have proven that they
God forbid
lay
he
down
wins.
in front of a train for him because, by golly, they just need to believe in something.
If he wins another term, he'll probably have the opportunity to appoint 2 more Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
And then that's just when everything goes downhill for humanity because the corporations will have more power to do whatever they want. All regulation will go out the door. And, good luck finding fresh water.
Not all regulation would go out the door, but a lot of regulation would go, and that's good.
Good luck finding some water. I hope you know how to drill.
I worry that the corporations
well.
have been so good at doing what they've been doing over the last 50 or 100 years that it's like trying to close a door after the house is already full of snow to keep the rest of the snow out. Like at that point, they may have already won, and that's why I think people are really scared because it's like we might really be looking at an oligarchy or almost a system of royalty again. We just don't call them kings and queens; we call them CEOs. That's it.
Don Jr. could be your next president.
Oh, Jesus.
Because if he wins another term, it's either Eric or Donald that's going to run, or
Pence,
Ivanka,
Ted freaking Cruz.
Oh my God!
No way Pence would run.
You don't think
I think
so?
Pence is done. He might. I mean, what might sink Trump? But it wouldn't.
It wouldn't
because it wouldn't sink him. Like if Pence was to drop out, come the next election, he's like, you know what? I can't handle it. You're on your own. And then he'd be like...
He just goes and gets Scott Baio.
I got Roseanne.
Yeah.
Did you guys love the Roseanne show? Wasn't it terrific?
It was really good.
It was, the original Roseanne was a good show.
The original Roseanne was
we
great.
cannot argue this.
Cannot.
I
won't stand for... Well,
did you see the
it got
new
bad
ones?
the last couple seasons, obviously. But, yeah.
The brand new ones were they weren't that bad.
They were stilted, though. They felt... I mean, the whole premise was like you were just waiting for the politics. And it just... That wasn't... Why we like, the original Roseanne show just snuck up on you. This one was like,
right.
Yeah. Before you used to care about Dan and his diabetes medicine, and like they were gonna have trouble paying for it, But then now it's like, oh, he can't get his erection pills because of Obama.
Yeah.
Think a guy shouldn't be able to get an erection?
If he's Republican, no.
Good. Well, Baltimore. What do we know about Baltimore? You guys know that Charlie wrote a song called Baltimore. It goes like this. Mama was a spring chicken. Everyone's favorite her.
Yeah.
Daddy was the best cocksucker there ever was in Baltimore. Yeah. So, I don't know anything about Baltimore. And you guys are telling me.
You've never been.
Is there a good place? Like, let's imagine Austin is all shitty everywhere around it, but there's still like a downtown area that's still
there's Fells Point, and there's all kinds of... Like Jimmy said, if you they did with New York in the 70s, they take a camera crew around the Bronx and they're like, this is New York.
Right.
Well, the Bronx was in the worst shape of any neighborhood in the entire country had ever seen in the 70s. And most of America walked away being like, I am never going to New York City. This is where you had like the people in the Midwest literally terrified of the idea of going to what looked like a war-torn country, And Baltimore, over like as far as
it had a renaissance though.
Yeah.
In the when they built Camden Yards, the Inner Harbor got rebuilt, and they got the National Aquarium there. They got the USS Constitution, I think, is one of the ships that they got docked there, and the Ravens.
And it's
so
considerably improved since the 90s and the early 2000s. A lot of those old, those old houses, those old row houses and everything are brought back to what they're supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And
gentrification helps.
Gentrification,
but also they cut down on the epidemic. They're always going to have drug problems in major cities, but the crack epidemic, and faster than anything else.
It was the Eric. He had an issue a couple years ago. What was the gentleman who's roughed up in the
something Brown, Jeff Brown,
Eric Brown or something? No, I can't remember his name, but the gentleman died on the way to the precinct, and that was a major turn point in that city, and it highlighted how important it was for there to be leadership from that represented the people that they were representing, and some really good people got them out of that turmoil. And I respect the people of Baltimore. I respect that city. It's not as bad as Trump said. This is the thing. How come he can do that? He's our president. He shouldn't be saying that about any city.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, like Colleen. I don't want to pick on Colleen.
What exactly did he say about the city that you didn't like?
The fact that there's another tweet after that where he's like, how would anyone live there? Like that's like the city should sue him.
Yeah.
For slander. That's like, okay, if you were the head of Southwest Airlines and he went on there and was like, Southwest Airlines made a very bad decision with the Supermax 8 plane that their stock should tumble. Like, you can't. As the president, you can't, Carlos.
But he just did, he could, and he did.
Okay, yes, he did.
Where are these rules that you guys want to make all the time?
Where are the people in the streets saying, this is unpresidential, this is unbecoming of the great country of the United States of America?
But the thing is, the people that support him, they read just his tweets. And they think now they think that Elijah Cummings' district is the most crime-ridden, and they will never shake that opinion because it came out of the president's mouth. The president
said it.
Even though just countless articles came out right away being like, okay, he's so far off about this district. This district is a beacon of
regrowth.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we just played I just was there a month ago, month and a half ago. And right there in the Inner Harbor, they've got an amazing food district. Also, weed's legal there. Okay? So more money's going to be coming. I mean, my first bong I got in Fells Point, Yeah. I don't remember what that head shop was. But, what was the club that we used to go to? Anyway. Yeah. It was always shady, but it was a good shady. D.C. is shady. Parts of D.C.?
Yeah.
Shit.
Hey, we're the murder capital for a long time.
Is that right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, in the 90s.
There's parts of Austin I wouldn't go in.
Of course. Well, according to Wikipedia, Maryland is third in violent crimes per capita here. Shit. I don't know anything about him. It looks okay.